Yo, what is up everybody? It's me, Weep here, back with part 2 for What If Naruto was in Genshin Impact. If you guys did not see the previous part, which it has been a while, make sure to go up here to the top upper right hand corner, and you'll be able to find a playlist which currently has the only part before the second part to this video. To the series, so make sure to go and click that so you can be caught up with the series as well as just understand what's going on with the story. If you're new to my channel and have no idea what's going on here, basically this is a what-if scenario where I take the Naruto from the anime Naruto, I know, shocker there, and stick him into the game at Genshin Impact. If you guys don't know what Genshin Impact is, in my first video I have a linked comment and also in the description I believe, with a video explaining all of the current lore we know about Genshin and the world of Teyvat. Anyway, if you guys are interested and like this video and want the series to continue, make sure to do all that good stuff below with the subscribe, little bell notification thing. I don't know much about it. Hit that like button and all of that good stuff. Anyway, let's get out of this intro now and get into the video. Anyway, let's get right into the second part of Naruto's journey into Teyvat. So before we actually get into Jin's now conversation with Naruto, I think we should take a bit of a break and go back to an hour before Naruto actually meets Jin. This is just before Naruto had just helped Amber outside the city of Mondstadt, had actually cleared Hilichurl camps as well as found a few slimes, using his now Animo or Wind Chakra power that he had reattained from the statue, which had been sealed by the unknown god. Amber had taken Naruto into the city of Mondstadt and had offered to give him a gift before anything had happened or before he had to meet the Knights of Favonius' leader. Amber taking Naruto to the main center of town to the plaza, which is where the large statue of the Animo god Barbatos is at, she would gift Naruto a wind glider. Naruto would be amazed seeing the wings, as he's super excited asking Amber what he can do with them. As Amber would then tell him to follow her, smiling. As she would jump off the side of a building, Naruto would be shocked, looking over, telling her to watch her fall. Immediately, as Naruto would be ready to jump down and save her, Amber would suddenly use her glider, as wings would seemingly explode out from Amber pulling out the glider, and would begin to almost fly around Mondstadt. Wow! Naruto would be shocked. That's amazing! Naruto would definitely want to try this, thinking about how cool it would be if he could have done this off of the stone heads of the Hokage, flying over the Leaf Village. I gotta try! Amber would turn around telling him to wait before Naruto would jump off and use the glider, seemingly a natural at it. Naruto would be smiling shocked, as he's extremely excited and happy, feeling this new toy as he continues to play around and fly around Mondstadt. Amber would then tell him to be careful because his license, which he hasn't even got yet, might be revoked if he keeps flying around someone safely. I have to have a license for this? Naruto would ask. Naruto would turn around, a bit annoyed now, with Amber then now having her own awkward moment, explaining to Naruto that actually she's had her license removed a few times too. Naruto would also be shocked, saying, but Amber looked amazing with the glider. Amber would blush a little bit, saying, you think so? With Naruto definitely nodding. Paimon would just be standing there floating around. She asks if she gets a prize too. This would be when Amber would say that she'll treat Paimon to some sticky honey roast ham from the Good Hunter. Food. Paimon would be pretty pleased with this. But seemingly, just as all was going well, Amber would be taking Naruto over to meet the Knights of Favonius headquarters, where he should be meeting Jin. That is, Kaeya would walk out the door. Naruto would see Kaeya, and as he sees him, he would immediately think of Sasuke. It would come out of his mouth before he could even say it. Sasuke! But he'd stop himself. Kaeya would be a bit confused, but he would then realize something about this guy's weird. Are you not going to introduce us? Kaeya would ask Amber. Amber would say, oh, right. This is our cavalry captain, Kaeya, of the Knights of Favonius. Nice to meet you, Naruto would say, bowing quickly before he realizes and stands back up. Oh, it's not too big of a deal. I was just heading out here because of the reports of a dragon attacking Mondstadt. Dragon? Naruto would say. Suddenly, almost as if on cue, a large roar could be heard, as we see a giant flying green dragon now hovering over the city, preparing its attack on Mondstadt. Ah! Naruto would be shocked, as Naruto and Amber would be ready for battle. Get ready. Kaya, now having been introduced to Naruto and Amber, would begin their battle against the dragon. Naruto, using Anemo, would fly up using his glider, as everyone in town would be amazed watching as Naruto would begin to battle Dvalin. The Stormterror dragon would be shocked, as this human really thinks that it can beat him in aerial combat. Arrogance. Dvalin would then begin to charge and begins to roar at Naruto. Naruto would begin to blast after using Anemo, instructing from Kaya and Amber as the two begin to explain to Naruto to bend the elemental energy, as Naruto would use blast of Anemo at the dragon. Dvalin would be taking sufficient amounts of damage from Naruto's wind chakra, as he'd eventually flee the city. Naruto would land back to the ground, with tons of citizens of Mondstadt now thinking of this mysterious traveler just flying around and fighting a dragon. Kai would quickly hurry Naruto inside, where we get back to the end of the previous episode, with Jean sighing as she begins to talk to Naruto, interested in this traveler, as Naruto would begin to listen to what Jean was saying, with him trying to interrupt a few times, saying he could just take the dragon out all by himself. Jean would sigh as she begins to explain to Naruto that with Stormterror now directly having attacked Mondstadt, they now have an opportunity to cut the problem off from the very source. Lisa, Jean would summon her into the room. She would then explain as Lisa would be eyeing Naruto with her ara eyes. Jean would explain that Lisa, their librarian and mage, has revealed that there's sources of Stormterror's power within the abandoned temples of the Four Winds. Lisa would explain that Stormterror's ability to create these powerful storms could be partly attributed to drawing power from the temples. Her objective is to deal with at least 3 of the 4 temples, Jean would say. Anyway, if we want to get the jump on Stormterror, we have to get moving. The storm is rampant. There's no point in maintaining this defensive position any longer. Let's go. Jean, Kaya, along with now Naruto and Paimon, would head out, as the Knights of Favonius and Naruto would begin to head towards the abandoned temples. Congrats, you finally made it, Amber would say, as she waves, with Naruto finally arriving at the Winds of the Past Temple, one of the 4 Winds abandoned temples that Mondstadt hosted their 4 deities, or their 4 protectors of the city. Amber would be waiting outside the great doors as Naruto would see it. Engraved and etched inside of the stone would have various markings, as Amber would then invite Naruto as well as Paimon to enter into the ruins with her, as the two would begin to explore the abandoned ruins to try and find any sign of Dvalin's power, as well as lower the seals that would be blocking Stormterror's lair, so that Naruto and the Knights of Favonius could find and take care of the threat. This is the Temple of the Falcon, Amber would say. Watch your step. We're probably gonna find some abyss mages down here. Wait, what's that? Naruto would ask, as Amber and Naruto would come to the desk of a console. What is that? Naruto would ask, as Amber would walk towards the cubic stone. This is an ancient device that we can use to open doors down in ruins and domains like this, Amber would say. Here, watch. She'd hold her hand over, she would manipulate the elemental energy and play with the console before figuring out the way to open it. Suddenly, there would be a golden light all over the stone, as the doors would begin to open. Alright, 1 down and 2 more temples to go, Naruto would say. Amber would turn, telling Naruto not to be so carefree, especially now when they haven't even seen what monsters might be guarding the domain's treasures, or what else could be down there. Naruto would tell her to take it easy as she slaps her on the back, with Amber looking a bit annoyed with a pouty face. Alright, let's not take any more time, Amber would say. Every second we wait, it's another mark on the Knights of Favonius' name. Naruto would be thinking, but you were the one telling me to be patient. As the two would walk into the room, they'd see hilichurls around. Traveler, take the ones on the left, and I'll take the camp on the right. Alright, go Barrett Bunny. Amber would throw out her now small doll-looking thing, and Amber would look at Naruto, who would just be staring at it. What's that? Naruto would ask. Naruto now having vague images of Kankuro using his puppets from back during the Chunin exam. Amber would turn back, seeing Naruto staring at her Baron Bunny, telling him he has his own problems to deal with. Naruto would ignore them, as she would then run over to his side, where the hilichurls would begin to attack, as they begin to yell and scream, a war cry as they grab their clubs, which they had been sitting around a fire in the camp, now inside the domain. The hilly churls would begin to run at Naruto, as Naruto would summon the power of Animo, or Wind Chakra. He'd form a hand seal quickly, as he then holds his hand out, trying to create a wind-style Rasen Shuriken. Damn, I barely even have enough chakra for a Rasengan. Fine, Naruto would say. Rasengan! Naruto would run forward as he then slams a Rasengan to a hilly churl's chest, sending it flying and spinning into the other two, knocking them down to the floor, as the fire would actually begin to sputter out from one of them kicking one of the pieces of wood out from it. The hilly churls would be down as Naruto would turn, seeing ashes and flames, as that weird doll thing had exploded seemingly, like a bomb. Huh, that's a weird combination. Who would use bombs in a dumb way like that? Deidara in the other side of the Naruto universe would suddenly sneeze. Anyway, Amber would turn saying that her bombs aren't even the most powerful in the Knights of Favonius, and her Baron Bunny isn't even that strong in terms of explosive power. It does its job though. Amber would turn to Naruto and then tell him that if he really wants to see explosions, he should look for Klee. Klee? Naruto would ask. Amber would say, looking scarred as the PTSD of Star Snatch Cliff would be hitting her. Let's just say that Klee is a very explosive child. Okay, I trust you, Naruto would say. Anyway, I'm tired. Let's just go take care of this thing. As Amber and Naruto would suddenly approach into the next room, they would see explosive barrels placed on different towers. Are those explosive barrels? Well, one shot should be able to blow them up. Amber would pull back her bowstring as she pulls the arrow taut, lighting it up with the power of pyro. Suddenly, the tip of the arrow began to turn into a red gleaming light, as sparks begin to form around it until a ball of flame is now covering the entire top of the arrow shaft. Wow, Naruto would say. Can I do that? I thought you were more of a sword user than a bow user, but you could try. But you don't have the power of pyro. You use Animo, right? I guess you could probably learn pyro if you learned Animo without a vision. Whatever, let's just do this now. Amber would use her bow as she then shoots the explosive barrels, taking them all out. Now, with the bombs having been exploded, the towers would be crumbling as they decided to look down where they were falling. It was like a chasm. It was huge. So far down. How are we gonna get down there? Why don't we use that glider thing you gave me? Good idea, Amber would say. After all, I am the gliding champion of Mondstadt. Be careful for any wind currents. We don't want to fly too far down. Alright, traveler, follow me. Amber and Naruto would jump down the side of the chasm as they began to glide, with several bursts of wind blocking their path and them having to move around it. Whoa, that was close, Naruto would say, dodging and weaving out of the way. Amber and Naruto would finally make it to the other platform, as they would see it. Dragon's Breath! Is that where the power's coming from? It appears to be some sort of pyro monument. Naruto would turn to Amber and say, hey, you have firepower, you hit it. It's called pyro and... never mind. Yeah, we got this. Amber would use her bow as she lights up the tip of the arrow again, now hitting into the monument. As the monument would light up, Naruto would be looking around, his hands in the air ready for a fight. But nothing would happen. Well, that's disappointing. Oh, there's the crystal, Amber would say. Let's smash it. This would be when Amber and Naruto would just pelt it with blows, with Naruto using Rasengans and Amber using her arrows, as they would shatter the crystal from Stormterror, now deleting the seal that was apparently being used to siphon power from the temple. I'm beat, Amber would say. Well, at least this way we've helped Master Jean out. In the past, we were at least able to defend the city and keep it safe. Well, most of that's thanks to Acting Grandmaster Jean, though. Now, if Stormterror directly attacking the city itself, though, I don't know if we can do it anymore. Well, the winds change, and so should our tactics. Sounds kind of deep, Naruto would say. Did you think of that? Nah, it's what the librarian Lisa likes to say. Oh, speaking of which, the four winds we were discussing earlier. If you want to learn more about the history of Mondstadt, you can probably ask Lisa. Naruto would then say he's not really that interested as he scratches his head. Well, if you ever do, you can ask her. Not like I don't know our history, it's just... I mean, a librarian is supposed to be more knowledgeable than some outrider, right? Paimon would then question her, saying, is that how it works? Amber would just tell him to leave as she would be blushing, her face red. Naruto would be, at the least, a bit confused as he would see the glowing hologram now lifting out of the domain. How do I leave again? Just walk through that, Amber would say. Oh, right. Naruto would walk into the circle as the magic would surround him of the elemental energy. Suddenly, he'd be back at the entrance of the domain, as he would have now successfully teleported out of the domain of the Falcon. Naruto, with Paimon's guidance, would begin following Paimon to the next temple. Naruto would see the lady standing there with a purple hat. As Naruto would be thinking that's one big hat, Lisa would say, "Are you cuties here to help me out?" Naruto, realizing what she's implying, would suddenly blush, saying, "Yep, that's me, Mr. Helper." Naruto would be a bit confused and Paimon would be face-palming, as this would be when Lisa would explain that this is the Temple of the Lion. This time as Naruto would enter into the domain, he would notice under the stairs to the right, with Lisa going to the left, that there would be a chest there. Ooh, treasure! Come on, Paimon, let's go get this! Naruto would run over as he then opens the chest, finding some goodies. "Are you two coming or not?" "Yes!" Oh, you mean following it? Yeah, I'm on the way," Naruto would say. Naruto and Paimon would then follow Lisa as they make it to their first challenge of the domain. Naruto would see the console in front of the doors as he tells Lisa he's got this, walking forward confidently as he places his hand over and would summon Animo, successfully opening the door. Lisa would clasp her hands together saying, "Oh, he's so smart," with Naruto now looking red as he says, "Yep, that's me." Naruto, along with Lisa, would walk into the next room where they'd see a pyro slime, a gelatinous creature filled with flames. Naruto would be a bit horrified, but would then say he's got this, with Lisa cheering him on. "Gambare, gambare!" Kinda cringe, I know, but anyway. Naruto, with the power of Horny as well as the power of Animo, would then slay the slime using a Rasengan, a big, massive Rasengan on purpose, as he slams the slime into the wall, defeating it admirably. Paimon would then comment saying Naruto usually didn't waste so much of his energy like that, with Naruto saying, "I can probably make one 5 times that size," as he's winking towards Lisa. Lisa would already be moving on to the next room as Naruto slumps over, already coming to terms that this would be his life from this point forward. Anyway, in the next room there would be an Electro Monument, similar to the one that Naruto had seen Amber had to use with her pyro skills. Lisa would have the power of Electro already, as she would then use her catalyst, summoning a book and as it just floats there. How does that work, Naruto be thinking? I can't even sense any chakra, but I sense something. "Try using Elemental Sight," Paimon would tell him. "Elemental Sight? Like what?" "Just try focusing elemental energy or whatever that energy is you use into your eyes." Naruto would do it as he forces chakra into his eyes, thinking this must be how Sasuke uses his Sharingan. As Naruto would wince, as he focuses, he could see a very light layer of chakra, that being lightning release. "Wow," Naruto be saying, "it really does work. Thanks, Paimon." Paimon, now getting full of herself, would then say she is the best guide in all of Teyvat after all. Naruto would be watching Lisa as she'd use her Electro to open the door and activate the mechanism. As Lisa successfully activated the mechanism, suddenly 4 pyro slimes would jump out of the ceiling, as Naruto would rush in saying, "Watch out!" Before Naruto could even do anything, Lisa would suddenly snap her fingers as a lantern would rise off of the ground, filling up with purple as the atmosphere around them would turn dark. "Oh, you think you could surprise me, huh?" That's sad. Lisa would suddenly strike lightning down on all 4 pyro slimes, completely deleting them, as Naruto's jaw would drop to the floor, thinking, "Scary." Anyway, Lisa would turn, now blowing on her finger, which she snapped, saying, "I guess I used a little too much power there, huh?" As Naruto would just be speechless, Paimon would tell him not to be so full of himself next time. Naruto would then look down, saying, "Just wait till I get Kurama back. Then I'll just destroy everything in one attack instead of having to use 4, Naruto would say, pouting. Paimon would then be a little scared, saying, "You'd really do that?" "Well, no, but it'd be cool." Naruto would then follow Lisa as they'd run into a group of 4 hilly churls, with 3 of them having bows and one of them having just a club. Naruto would take care of the one with the club using a Rasengan and his taijutsu skills, while Lisa would just use lightning and completely tase the other 3, knocking them unconscious with her electricity. After a couple more mechanisms and some shenanigans, they'd finally make it to the last room, with a huge Hydro Slime and 3 other hilly churls. Lisa would say she'll take care of the slime, if Naruto can take care of the hilly churls. "Screw that," Naruto would say. "I'll take this slime on. Watch this." Naruto would then run forward as he then punches his fist into the slime, which would do nothing. Maybe use your sword, Lisa would say. Oh, yeah, I have that. Before he could even react, the slime would hit him, as Naruto gets sent flying back with water covering his clothes. I got this. Lisa would then go after the Hilichurl, saying, alright, if he says so. Naruto would then create a large Rasengan filled with anemo, as he would attack the slime and would see its body beginning to fold around the anemo, but it wasn't enough. More! Naruto would then try to do something, as he thinks if he's gonna fight big, he'll fight big too. Shadow Clone Jutsu! Naruto would use the Shadow Clone Jutsu as he tries to make the hand seal, but could only make 3 clones, which for Naruto isn't very much. What? Naruto would be disappointed, as he says this should be enough anyway. Whatever. He then manifests the sword, summoning it like the other characters in the game, as well as just in the world Teyvat can use, as he summons the Dull Blade. This'll work. Alright guys, let's beat that slime till it's dead! Naruto would run forward with his other clones as they start stabbing at the Hydro Slime, cutting open its gelatinous flesh, as it would eventually fall and die unconscious, having leaked out all of its Hydro. Naruto would be breathing heavily as he then desummons the clones, with him now breathing over to Lisa, saying, how's that, huh? Lisa would be reading a book, saying, oh, very impressive, as she'd clap her hands. Naruto would be disappointed that he didn't impress the Ara for many reasons, so naturally he would feel a bit defeated. Anyway, Lisa and him would then move to the final gate, where we would see a weird green glowing figure. Naruto would walk forward as his hand would try and touch it, thinking this thing looks really neat, and he could feel the power of wind release on it. As Naruto's hand grazes the Animalculus, the floating entity of elemental energy would then fly up into the air and like a graceful wind land inside of Naruto's chest, now phasing into him. I can kind of feel it. I wonder what will happen if I give these to that statue thing. Maybe I can boost its power and then increase my chakra reserves, Naruto would be thinking. I'll have to try that later. Anyway, Naruto along with Lisa would then destroy the single Stormterrors crystal that was in the domain with no resistance from any monsters or anything. With Lisa using Electro and Naruto using his Rasengan, they would easily destroy the crystal and suddenly a chest would appear, with Paimon screeching as she runs for it, opening it and trying to take the treasures, with Paimon now having a little backpack carrying them. Alright, traveler, we got a good haul today. Only one more to go. Naruto would nod, saying he hopes he doesn't embarrass himself like he did this time. Anyway, Naruto would then exit the domain as he says goodbye to Lisa, waving, with her winking at him as Naruto would feel his heart race for a second. Naruto would cough as he says that he is, after all, a great shinobi who will become the Hokage one day. This shouldn't be the least of things to frazzle him. As Naruto began to walk towards the next domain, that being the one where Kaya, the cavalry captain, would be waiting for him, where they could finally defeat the last domain and unlock Stormterrors' lair so they can fight the almighty dragon. If you guys want to see the next part of What If Naruto was in Genshin Impact, get this video to 300 likes and I'll start scripting so I can hopefully make it next week. That's the goal at least. And in the next video, we'll be covering Dvalin / Stormterrors attack, along with the Holy Liar debacle, everything of Venti that's going to happen, and just the rest of, I guess, the Anemo Archon quests for the first Archon quest story of Genshin Impact. Anyway, thank you guys so much for supporting this series. If you guys want to see more videos or have any ideas you want me to make sure to comment them down below, and I will make sure to definitely see them. I heart all my comments because I read them and then I heart them, so thank you so much. Anyway, I'll see you guys all in the next one.